The clock is ticking in Philly, and this could be the moment that defines the Eagles' entire season. A contract decision is looming. Young stars are waiting for their chance. And deep inside the locker room, one unsung hero may finally get the spotlight he deserves. But will the front office make the move in time or miss the moment altogether? The Philadelphia Eagles are running out of time. Training camp is just days away, and every second matters. Big decisions, bigger expectations, and the pressure? It's already sky high. This team isn't just preparing for another season, they're chasing redemption, chasing greatness, and chasing the legacy they believe they still deserve. The city is watching, the league is watching, and Howie Roseman knows it's time to act. Camp officially kicks off July 22nd. That's when the players report to the NovaCare complex for physicals, conditioning tests, meetings, and recovery sessions. It's the calm before the storm. Because just 24 hours later, on July 23rd, the Eagles will hit the field for their first official practice of the summer. No pads yet, but the intensity? That's real. Drills, 7-on-7s, position battles already brewing, and we'll be watching every snap. Expect the veterans to lead early, but don't be surprised when young challengers start knocking on the door. Last year, Kelly Ringo opened camp as a starting corner. But by the end, Isaiah Rodgers and others were making noise. That same script might play out again. Pads likely come on 5 days into camp, just like last year. That's when the real battles begin. Full contact, real hits, depth chart decisions, reps that can decide futures. And then, boom! Just 16 days after camp starts, the Birds face the Bengals in their first preseason game. It'll be fast, it'll be brutal, and it'll show us who's ready to wear the green under the lights. 2 more preseason games follow against the Browns and the Jets. Every moment counts. August 10th will be the Eagles' only public practice at Lincoln Financial Field. Fans, energy, vibes. It'll feel like a game day before the real ones even begin. But here's the thing. While all eyes are on the schedule, something bigger could be brewing behind closed doors. Contract talks are heating up across the league. Big names, Aiden Hutchinson, Sauce Gardner, Trey Smith, all on the verge of new deals. And in Philly, there's one name that deserves that same respect, Reed Blankenship. No headlines, no flashy drama, just production, passion, consistency. Reed has been the Eagles' most reliable safety, and he's heading into a contract year making pennies compared to his impact. It's time to pay him. These last-minute extensions are more than business. They protect players from worry, from hesitation. One freak injury could derail a career, and everyone knows that a new deal gives confidence, focus, peace. Blankenship has earned it. And it's not just fans who see it. His own teammates, like Tristan McCollum, are publicly praising him. He called Reed one of the heartbeats of the defense, a voice in the room, and a leader on the field. Reed may not be in the national top 10 yet, but that's about to change in 2025. And if the Eagles want to build something lasting, they need to lock in their foundation pieces now. So here's the question, Philly. Will Howie make the move before the clock runs out? Reed Blankenship isn't just another guy in the Eagles' secondary. He's the voice, the leader, the calm in chaos. When he's on the field, things just click. The defense breathes easier. Players trust their alignment, their coverage, their jobs. And it's because of Reed, the safety who holds it all together without needing a spotlight. Tristan McCollum, one of his fellow DBs, recently gave us a rare inside look into what it's like to line up next to him. His words weren't flashy, but they hit hard. He makes the game simple, McCollum said. He keeps everyone calm. But the way he flips the switch and plays with aggression, it's unreal. And that's what makes Reed so special. He's not yelling, he's not barking orders, he's directing traffic. A quiet general, a guiding hand, a relentless force. Every defense needs one, and the Eagles already have theirs. So why hasn't he been paid? That's the question echoing through Philadelphia. According to reports, the front office hasn't even started contract talks with Blankenship. Not a single conversation. And with camp days away, that silence is loud. This is the kind of mistake that costs teams later. Reed isn't just talented, he's consistent, reliable, and already the heartbeat of this secondary. Every week he shows up. Every week he delivers. And while national outlets still don't rank him in the top 10, Eagles fans know the truth. He belongs there. But now we've got another twist in the story, and it's coming from outside the building. There's still a chance Philadelphia makes one more big move before training camp. A name we've heard all offseason keeps floating back into the mix. Asante Samuel Jr. Yes, that Asante Samuel Jr., the same corner whose dad once dominated in Eagles green. Samuel Jr. has been on the radar for weeks, but health concerns have kept him unsigned. Teams have waited for medical clearance, and one squad, the Miami Dolphins, reportedly showed strong interest this past week. But then, things got messy. Samuel Jr.'s father, the former Pro Bowl DB, went on a public tirade. He ripped into the Dolphins, called their head coach a pushover, said their GM had no backbone. He accused the franchise of being soft, directionless, and afraid of their own players. Yikes. It was brutal. And while Samuel Sr. doesn't speak for his son, you've got to wonder if that outburst hurt Samuel Jr.'s chances in Miami. Which brings us back to Philly. Could the Eagles swoop in? Could they bring Asante Samuel Jr. full circle, back to the city where his dad became a star? The fit makes sense. The need is real, and if the Dolphins are backing off, maybe now's the perfect time to pounce. There's not much time left. Camp is nearly here, and the Eagles still have questions to answer about Blankenship, about Samuel Jr., about whether they're truly ready to make a run or still waiting to finish the puzzle. The NFL waits for no one, and for a player like Asante Samuel Jr., that clock is ticking louder by the day. If he's still holding out, waiting for an injury somewhere around the league to open a door, it's a dangerous game. One wrong bet, one healthy camp, and suddenly that door never opens at all. At his age, and with this market, he needs to sign before camp starts. Period. And if the Eagles are even remotely interested, if there's even a shred of real conversation in the building about him, now's the time to strike, because the moment training camp begins, that window might close. That said, no, I don't think they're in on Samuel right now. And I'm not holding my breath for that update. Just like I'm not expecting any big news on Justin Simmons either. Simmons is in a different boat. He's waiting too, but he's playing chess. His camp knows an injury is coming somewhere. Or maybe a team gets into camp and realizes their safety room just isn't cutting it. That's when his phone rings. And yes, if things don't click in Philly at safety, it could absolutely be them who makes that call. But for now, Simmons is waiting, watching. And maybe he's watching a rookie make his case sooner than expected. Because let's talk about Drew Makuba, the Eagles' new rookie safety who's already turning heads without even playing a snap. Tristan McCollum, a teammate in that same safety room, couldn't stop praising him this week. He called Makuba crazy smart, said the guy picks things up faster than anyone he's seen, and has the kind of high IQ that shows up the moment he hits the field. That's no small compliment, especially coming from someone who watches him every day. Makuba played a ton of ball in college. He's experienced. He's physical. He's got instincts. And McCollum made it clear, once Makuba locks in mentally at the NFL level, the rest of his game is going to explode. That's exactly why the Eagles used a high draft pick on him. Vic Fangio doesn't just hand out trust to rookie DBs. You've got to earn it. And from what we're hearing, Drew is earning it fast. Still, don't expect him to run with the starters right away. This coaching staff always begins camp with a strict pecking order. Veterans go first. That means Sidney Brown and Reed Blankenship will probably take the first reps at safety. Same way Kelly Ringo got those early CB reps last year. Same way others had to wait their turn. But once pads go on, that's when it gets real. If Makuba flashes, if he proves he's got the confidence to match the brain, he could leap into the starting lineup fast. And this brings us to the real-time drama of training camp injuries. One name we already know won't be active early on, Nakobe Dean. He's still recovering and likely won't do much the first couple of weeks. But Jihad Campbell? He's a mystery. We'll probably see him go through all the early drills in shorts and helmets, but whether he's ready for full contact when pads come on, that's the real test. Same goes for Cam Jurgens. That back injury might still be lingering. We're waiting for confirmation, but as of now, don't expect him in the early action either. And then there's Nolan Smith. Smith's been battling a triceps issue, and while the team hasn't said much publicly, a recent training clip from California might have revealed everything we needed to know. In it, Smith was striking a dummy, using that tricep full force. Now, a dummy's not a human. That's true. But it's a massive step in the right direction. The final test? Hitting someone real when the pads come on. If he can do that early in camp, then he's back. Fully. And that would be a game changer. And speaking of game changers, one injury outside Philly could give the Eagles a real break in Week 1. Over in Tampa Bay, star offensive lineman Tristan Wirfs just underwent knee surgery. He's now expected to miss the first 4 games of the regular season. That includes Philly's season opener against the Bucs. And while no team celebrates injuries, this is huge. Taking on Tampa Bay without their best offensive lineman? That's a major advantage for the Eagles' front 7. Let's talk about something that could quietly tilt the scales in the Eagles' favor before a single snap is taken. Philadelphia's Week 4 showdown against Tampa Bay was already being circled on calendars, but now? It just got a whole lot more interesting. Why? Tristan Wirfs is out. The Bucs' Pro Bowl tackle, their best offensive lineman, their wall of protection, will miss the first 4 games after undergoing knee surgery. And just like that, Tampa's fortress has a crack in the foundation. A big one. Now picture this. It's September, scorching heat in Raymond James Stadium, what's become an annual Tampa Bay sweatfest for the Birds. But this time, Nolan Smith is healthy. Josh Sweat is charging hard. The Bucs' offensive line? Weakened. Baker Mayfield scrambling. Somewhere right now, Nolan Smith is smiling. Now, up until this moment, things have been pretty quiet in Philly. The calm before the storm. Final 2 weeks before training camp hits full throttle. But don't let the silence fool you. Behind the scenes, the storylines are building. And one of the biggest? Who's going to start? Who's going to win their shot? And who's about to surprise everyone? That's why this week's live stream with Josh Davis turned into a deep dive. We went all in. The safety battle. Nolan Smith's recovery. Jalen Hurts' next step. But one name kept coming up. Tristan McCollum. Now let's be honest, the media isn't buzzing about McCollum. Yet. But inside the Eagles building, coaches are watching closely. And don't be shocked if, within a couple of weeks, the headline reads, Tristan McCollum, starting safety? It's already happening. McCollum has quietly been getting starter reps and workouts. He's been healthy. He's been consistent. He knows the system. And he's earned Vic Fangio's attention, which is no small thing. Because here's the truth about Fangio. He doesn't hand out compliments. He doesn't play the everyone's got a shot game. If Vic mentions your name, it means something. So when he was asked about the safety battle between Sidney Brown and Drew Makuba, and went out of his way to include Tristan McCollum in that mix, you better believe that was intentional. He could have easily skipped it. Could have just said the rookies need more time. Could have kept the answer safe. But he didn't. He brought McCollum into the spotlight. That means he's not just in the mix, he's in real contention. And don't forget the resume. McCollum was second on the team in tackles during the preseason last year. He's made plays on special teams. He's always around the football. He's earned the right to be taken seriously. This is exactly how the Eagles build rosters. Not just with big contracts and shiny draft picks, but with guys who grind, who stay ready, who take their moment when it comes. And when you listen to McCollum talk, you hear something rare. He's not out there pounding his chest, shouting, "I deserve to start." He's not talking about himself. He's talking about the team, about filling whatever role they need. Special teams? Fine. Starting safety? Let's go. All that matters is helping the Birds win. That kind of humility? That kind of commitment to culture? That's what championship teams are made of. And as we head into camp, those are the voices to listen to. Not just the loudest or flashiest, but the ones who show up day after day and prove they belong. The Eagles' culture is alive. You can feel it. And if McCollum keeps doing what he's doing, he won't be the underdog much longer. In every NFL training camp, there are names we expect, and names that sneak up on us. But in Philadelphia, the story of the summer might just be forming right in front of our eyes, in the shadows, behind the veterans, inside the film room, and out on the practice field. The safety battle is about to explode. Sidney Brown is likely to take the field first, not necessarily because he's the best man for the job, but because he's earned seniority. He's been through the battles, knows the rhythm of an NFL camp, and familiarity matters early. But make no mistake, he's not being handed anything. Behind him, there's a storm quietly building. Tristan McCollum, the grinder, the underdog, the forgotten name, has steadily worked his way into real consideration. He's smart, calm, hungry, and Vic Fangio, a man who values discipline over hype, keeps bringing up his name. But then there's the wild card, the spark. Drew Makuba, the second-round pick. The prospect people are already whispering about around the league. He doesn't talk much, but he plays like he belongs. His instincts? Sharp. His awareness? Elite. His football IQ? Off the charts. He's the kind of player you don't notice until suddenly. You can't stop noticing him. Even McCollum himself said it. He's way ahead of where rookies usually are. That's not just respect. That's recognition of something real. This is Vic Fangio's system now. And if we learned anything from last year's rookie class, it's that Fangio doesn't wait for experience to show itself. If a player has the mind for the game, the patience, the preparation, and the grit, he'll get his shot. It happened with Quinion Mitchell. It happened with rookies who walked in and didn't just survive, they started. That's the path Makuba could be on. Not day one, maybe not even week one. But as camp wears on and the pads come on, don't be surprised if Drew begins climbing. Fast. And that's the emotional roller coaster that is Eagles training camp. The fog of war. One day a player is a breakout star, the next, he's on the sideline. Remember last year? Devin White looked like a revelation the first 2 weeks. There were whispers that he was the linebacker the team had been dreaming of. Group chats with Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Energy, vibes, leadership. And then? Silence. Nolan Smith, Sidney Brown, even Nakobe Dean. We heard reports. We saw flashes. We watched names rise and fall. The truth is, it's all noise until the real games begin. But in the chaos of training camp, patterns emerge. Look deeper. The ones who stay steady through the fog, those are the ones you bet on. Take McCollum again. Quietly, last preseason, 17 tackles, 2 pass breakups, 1 tackle for loss. That's production. In the regular season, he even stepped in against the Giants and racked up 9 tackles in a spot start. He didn't blink. This man is ready. And so is Makuba. And in just 10 days, the story will start to write itself on the practice field. Pads will come on. Reps will increase. And a second-round rookie with a mind like a vet may just find himself across from Reed Blankenship come preseason kickoff. The clock is ticking. This isn't just competition. This is a proving ground. And as Eagles fans, we're about to witness something special. In a league filled with bold takes and short memories, Jalen Hurts continues to be the quarterback everyone has an opinion on, and almost none of them stick. One week, he's elite. The next, he's the problem. Then he puts on a cape, pulls off a fourth-quarter miracle, and suddenly, he's back. Until he isn't. But if you're really watching, if you've really been paying attention to what this man does for the city of Philadelphia, then you know something the national pundits still haven't figured out. Jalen Hurts is not just a quarterback. He's the engine of this team. Without him, nothing works quite the same. You remember that Washington game, right? The one the Eagles should have won by 30? Before Hurts went down, it was a blowout waiting to happen. The offense was humming. Saquon had just broken a big one. The defense was flying. Everything was under control, and then, the silence. Hurts leaves the field. The gears grind to a halt. The same run plays stop working. The energy shifts. And from that point on, the Eagles' rushing efficiency? Dead last in the league. It wasn't just about the play calling. It wasn't just about the personnel. It was about fear, or the lack of it. Because with Jalen on the field, defenses hesitate. They second-guess. They freeze. You can't crash down on Barkley when Hurts might pull it and beat you himself. You can't blitz carelessly when you know that one broken contain might lead to a 40-yard gain. That's what a weapon looks like. So when critics say, Hurts has too many weapons, maybe they're missing the truth. Hurts is the weapon. And what's wild, what's genuinely fascinating, is how quickly people forget that. One bad game, and the narratives come rushing back. He's overhyped. He's holding them back. He can't do it in the clutch. Then, a week later, he does the impossible, and somehow they're surprised. What makes it worse is the revisionist history. People forget the version of this team Jalen inherited. A post-Wentz mess, a wide receiver room that didn't scare anyone. A coaching staff trying to find its identity. He wasn't gifted a championship roster. He earned every inch of it. The Eagles believed in Jalen Hurts. That's why they traded for A.J. Brown. That's why they went all in on Saquon Barkley. That's why they continue to build around him. Because they know what they have. And yet, even after a Super Bowl appearance, even after proving the doubters wrong time and again, here we are, watching the same tired debate. But Eagles fans know better. We've seen the growth. We've seen the toughness. We've seen the leadership. Jalen Hurts is Philadelphia. Not just because he plays hard, but because he never asks for the spotlight and still earns it every single week. Now, the noise will continue. The hot takes won't stop. The national media will ride the roller coaster they built. But inside the locker room, inside this city, there's no doubt. This is Jalen's team. And as long as he's leading it, the Eagles will never stop fighting. The next 10 days could quietly define the next 10 months of Eagles football, and not just because of practice reps or preseason lineups. It's contract season. Across the NFL, the dominoes are starting to fall. Sauce Gardner's deal is almost done. Aiden Hutchinson's extension is on deck. And if you're asking me, Reed Blankenship should be right in that mix. Why? Because the Eagles can't afford not to take care of him. Every GM in the league knows the math. When you believe in your guy, you lock him in before training camp, before the pads go on and the hits start flying. That's when a freak injury can cost a player millions. That's when agents start whispering about holdouts. That's when futures shift. Blankenship hasn't made his money yet. He's been out there delivering like a top 10 safety, but on a UDFA contract. That's $1 minus $3 million a year. Respectable for the rest of us. But a blink for a rising star in the NFL. And the problem? There have been no serious extension talks. At least, not according to the top sources in the building. That should sound alarm bells. We've seen this story before. Remember Josh Sweat? Philly gave him a one-year bridge deal thinking he'd be solid. Instead, he balled out, led the team in sacks, helped carry the defense, and earned a monster deal. With another team, Arizona snatched him up. Just like that. It could happen again, only this time, it's your best safety walking out the door. And don't be surprised if someone else throws $10 million a year at Reed in 2026, and we're sitting here wondering how we let it happen. Now, here's the real kicker. Reed's got the same agent as Terry McLaurin. And Terry? Yeah, he's not stepping on the field without a new contract. So the question has to be asked. Does Reed Blankenship hold out of training camp? It doesn't feel like his style, not with how tight this team is, not with the culture they've built. But you also can't blame him if he does. He just got married. He's given Philly everything. And when a player knows his value, the organization has to show it too. To their credit, the Eagles have sent that message in the past. What they did with Saquon, giving him that restructured bonus even when they didn't have to, that was a culture move. That was saying, we take care of our guys. Now the front office has a chance to say it again. Take care of Reed. Because if he plays the way he did last season, with more picks, more production, more leadership, the price is only going up. And if he walks, the safety room becomes a crisis. Again, Gardner Johnson? Gone. Reed? Maybe next. And then what? You're banking everything on rookies and maybe hoping Justin Simmons picks up the phone? That's not how you build a championship defense. You don't gamble with your cornerstones, you invest in them. So yeah, it's quiet right now. But something big could happen in the next 10 days. Either Reed Blankenship becomes a long-term Eagle, or Philly rolls the dice and hopes it doesn't blow up in their face. If Reed Blankenship delivers again this season, and there's every reason to think he will, the price tag won't just rise. It'll rocket. We're not talking top-tier safety money. Not $20 million, but $10 million a year? Easily. That's the floor for a reliable anchor in your secondary, especially when you still don't even know who's lining up next to him. You can't enter a season saying, well, maybe our rookie will figure it out. Maybe our third rounder pans out. Maybe an undrafted guy like Tristan McCollum earns the spot. You need one rock. One guy you can count on. Reed is that guy. If Philly lets him walk into training camp without a deal, it sends a message. And if he walks into free agency next year and gets a $40 million contract from someone else, that message will echo loud and clear. So here we are on the edge of camp. This time next week, we're all in, pads on, full throttle. And we're not slowing down until February. I'll be out of town Monday through Wednesday, but come Thursday, we are full speed ahead. Training camp coverage, safety battles, injury updates, contract news, preseason previews, everything.